Okay, I want to now talk about crowdfunding and crowdsourcing. A lot of people get excited about this because it's the new buzzword and all that, but I can tell you it's not as easy as it looks. Firstly, I want you to know that there's a difference between crowdfunding and crowdsourcing. Crowdsourcing is all about people placing orders on your company, prepaid orders, and hoping that when you go into production, you'll send it back to them, usually at a discount. Crowdfunding is where they're buying into your project as equity holders, and they're fairly loose equity holders. They're not. There's very little regulation on this, so people will say, "Oh, I'll buy so many units of your project, and therefore I'm a part owner in it, and I'll get a dividend over time." And they're hoping that you'll come through with that. Obviously, with new intellectual property, there's a lot higher risk, and these guys are very hesitant on crowdfunding, but rather would look to crowdsourcing as a better way. So I don't like this because I think it's very limited and I think it's very slow, and I don't think you can afford to have slow in this sort of industry, because you want to raise your capital, you want to get it done in weeks instead of years, and it can take a long time, and that window you can expire. So the way to do it, if you're going to have to do it, is firstly, before you even look at any crowdsourcing or crowdfunding platform, you need to build a hungry herd. There's a lot of people who are interested in your product and who want to buy your product, and instead of selling it to them early, you say to them, it'll go on sale at 3 p.m. on this date on this crowdfunding platform, crowdsourcing platform. Go in and place your order then, but you have to do it between 3 p.m. and 3:15 p.m. because you're outside of that time, you won't get the bonus. Now, what happens is people will jump on and do this. You've got to pick a right time, because if you're international, you might be in different time zones, and you've got to make sure that they can cater for that. And you set alarms for people. You have a countdown, and you also send them an email and a text to say, buy now, you get 15 minutes, you can get the bonus. If that's the case, you're now registering on a crowdsourcing platform. You're registering your product, you're opening up the sale, and you're immediately getting 500 to 1,000 sales. And that makes the algorithm, it tricks the algorithm on that platform to think, this must be a really popular project. What do? I'll better increase this. So they start showing it to national and then international, and pretty soon you've got a million eyeballs hitting this, or 20 million eyeballs hitting it. So that's what you want. And the only way to do that is to have those sales in the first minutes to trick the algorithm into thinking this is a really hot product. We need to do that. Now, pretty hard to do that, because if you want to get promoted like that, you really have to have the sales. And if you're going to get the sales, you have to have the hungry herd. And the hungry herd is hard to gather unless you've got a lot of time you spend on Facebook or LinkedIn and built your demand, and it's a satiable demand, but they haven't actually purchased anything. You've not sold them anything. You've just warmed them up. And to me, it lends itself more to products that are tribal. Tribal product is something like, if I had something in the cyclist for road bikes, for professional road bikes, these guys tell each other what they've got, and it becomes viral. Have you seen this? This is a great little product. You should get onto it. And pretty soon you've got the hungry herd built up, and you might have a database of 5,000 people, 10,000 people who are saying, yes, I want one of these. When's it available? And you say you can only buy it at 3 p.m. on the 29th on this website. Click here to link, and I'll send you the countdown ready to go, and bang, that's how you can do it. Now, if they're not a tribal product, people won't be, they'll be casual about it and in telling others, and therefore you won't be able to get that viral spread. And so it'll cost you a whole lot more to pull the crowd together, and then it'll be hard to motivate them to buy at that 15-minute window, which you really do need. If you take an hour, 2 hours, or a day, you've actually lost the impact, and the algorithm says, nah, you're just another one. If you get trapped down below, you're in the noise. That noise level means nobody will see you. Only people either side of you, only people looking for your product will see it, and that kills it. What you need to do is, if you're going to use a crowdsourcing platform appropriately, you need to get above the noise, and there has to be a way to do that, and it's very, very hard. So if you think you got a hot product, you put it on a crowdsourcing platform, and immediately you'll get 1 million eyeballs, it won't happen unless you bring the hungry herd and trick the algorithm. Okay, let's hope that works for you.